So with taking IT certifications, they only last 3 years generally. And with this particular one, this is like the only one that I am aware of anyway, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this is the only one that you don't have to worry about expiring. Like it's like it lasts a lifetime basically. So, and this is the ITF Plus. So this is the book, the CompTIA ITF Plus book. And basically I got it for $43.34 at Barnes & Noble. At the time of this recording, this is March 2025. So, I mean, it could be more expensive in a year, but that's how much it was for me now. Okay, it is a day before the test. And I'm like panicking. I'm like, what if I fail this? I'm like, it's the end of the world. But at the same time, like, I want to pass this. Like, I've studied my butt off for this. And I'm gonna feel like a failure if I fail. All right, study time. Okay, the update is the practice test that I took today, which is the day before the real test, I passed. Barely, but I passed. You need like essentially like a 72.22% to pass. And I got a 76%. So I barely squeaked by it, but I passed, so it counts. Now I just need to replicate that for tomorrow or better, because I had taken 2 practice tests and the first one I failed, took it again the second time and I passed. But I've never taken the real test at all. So like tomorrow's the big deal and I just need to replicate today's results tomorrow. Wish me luck. I'm gonna freaking cry tomorrow if I fail. Guys, I officially passed the test. I am like just surprised. Like I barely passed, but I did pass. And so I'm celebrating at Olive Garden. I'm like so happy, seriously. Oh. This is it, my official certification proof. Hey, it is now the day after the test and I'm obviously feeling really great because I passed the test. I did take it one time. The test was 70 questions. Technically, you can get up to 75. They have a few different versions of the test and you can have up to 75 questions. I only got the version that had 70 questions on it, which was, well, awesome. It was confusing, though, the time that I was going to have on it because the textbook that I bought at Barnes & Noble said I would get 50 minutes. So I was like mentally prepped for 50 minutes. When I got to the testing center, I thought they said I had like 110 minutes, 120 minutes, something like that. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot longer than I thought. Sweet, I'm going to have plenty of time. And then like minutes later when I actually logged in and took the test, the timer said 60 minutes. So I'm like, that's a huge difference. But I was mentally prepping for 50. So really it was like 10 minutes over than what I had been prepping for. But there was like some discrepancy in like how long the test is actually going to be. So train as if it's only 15 minutes. And then if you get 60 minutes, then you have like a 10-minute buffer window to go over questions or do whatever, you know. It was such a journey. It has been a total of an 8-week period to go from, I feel like, knowing virtually not much about IT. I was not in the IT field job-wise, and so I felt still new to the whole IT world. And then going to passing the certification test. So it was like an 8-week journey. And the first 6 weeks, I was just like reading a chapter here, reading a chapter there. And then the last 2 weeks, I got crazy and I busted out the book and I read at least half of it in a 3-day period over a weekend. So I got really intense about it because I'm like, I'm going to pass this. Now, I did have 3 kind of resources in studying for the test. One of which was the ITF Plus textbook by Mike Chapple. He's a Notre Dame professor, so I figure he probably knows what he's talking about. Also, I did the practice test that came with the textbook. You can take it twice, and I did. So I took it once and then retook it. But it's not like it's a different test. It's the same test. So just a heads up. And then also, and then I did the Udemy course. But I didn't finish it. Like, it was the 5-hour Udemy course by Mike Chapple. And I only ended up doing like a third of it, I think. A fourth to a third of it. So I didn't finish just because I was getting distracted with trying to get the book read. But technically I did use it for a short period of time. So take that into consideration. So I passed the test. You need a 650 to pass the test. And I got a 660. So I did pass. It wasn't by a huge margin like I was hoping obviously for, but at the end of the day, you either fail it or you pass it. It's like black or white. And so it's just like a number for you to kind of know how well you did on that spectrum. Because if you get a 900, then that means you got every single question right. I think you can technically get as low as 100. But anyway, but then obviously you failed the test. But to pass it, 650 out of the 900. So I got 660. I passed it. It was really, really good because I was I was anxious about it. I had a willingness to pass it. I was busting my rear reading the textbook. And as I read, I underline every single word. And so I wouldn't want to resell the textbook that I used because people would be like, wow, this is junk. This is all underlined. But that's just how I process as I read. I want to soak in every word. Anyway, so I was really diligent in reading that whole entire textbook. And in the end, it paid off. So I'm happy with the results. Would I advise people to take it? Yes, if you are new to the IT field. So, obviously, if you've had a help desk job for a really long time, you probably already know the stuff and you won't need to take it. But because I was coming from the healthcare industry, I felt like I needed to know what I was doing. And so I felt like that was essential. My plans. I was going to tell you about the plans. So I went to Barnes & Noble today and I was okay, what's the next certification that I'm going to work towards? And I was looking through the little island that they have that's all the IT books. And I was flipping through everything from machine learning to Python to Network Plus, A+. I was flipping through them and taking out 2 minutes per book. I didn't go through every single book. I went through probably 12 books maybe, 15 maybe at max. And I was just looking to see if there was something in there where I could see myself learning it. For example, Python, I looked at that book and I'm yeah, this looks really complicated. I feel like it's not going to click. It's going to be a little too much effort. So then I put that book back in its spot and then picked something else up. And so some topics were just way too intense for me. And I'm yeah, it's going to take me a century and a half to learn that. So, I went back to cybersecurity a few times. I'm let me check this again. And in the end, I felt like cybersecurity was what I really felt like I could actually do, and it would make more sense. And technically, security is one of the 6 sections that they test you on in the ITF Plus. And when I got my results back, I missed the least amount of questions from that security section. So I know I'm already prone to get security. And that was really reassuring. I'm oh, good. I'm glad I didn't totally fail at that section. So that's the plan, just to get, the Security Plus will be my next certification. I was leaning actually towards AWS Cloud Practitioner. And if I'm being totally honest, part of that was just because they make so much money. I mean, I was looking at the lower 25% that are in the cloud niche in the IT world, they make like $111,000. That's like awesome money. And so that's really attractive. And I was like looking through the book at the textbook at the store, and I'm like, dang it. I was hoping it would be, I don't know. I wasn't clicking with it. I was just like, I don't know if I see myself like loving this. You don't necessarily have to like love it, but you do have to like it. And if you don't like it, it's not going to work out. And so I was just not really liking it. And I was wanting to like it, but I'm like, it's just not clicking. So, cybersecurity, I checked that book out like 3 times, and I'm like, no, this is like more my jam than AWS stuff. So I'm like, well, I mean, I guess it really depends like who you work for and the job that you have. You can make some good money with cybersecurity, but you can really make some good money with AWS cloud, you know, whether it's cloud architect or solutions architect, or like cloud practitioner. So anyway, that's just not going to be the route that I take. I've decided it's more cybersecurity. Like, I'm decent at it, and I think I will actually click well and just like it. So I'm going to stick with what I like, because if I do that, it's going to be, that longevity is going to be able to play into this the career that I've now like chosen to go down. So that's the scoop. That's a scoop. Big life changer, right? Going from the healthcare industry to the tech industry. It wasn't a transition I was expecting to make, but I do feel good about it. I think this is going to be it. The IT world. So wish me luck. I will be doing some studying in the next couple of days. I'm going to order the textbook tomorrow. And our Amazon Prime is not up, so I have to re-sign up for that and then order the textbooks. I get it in like 2 days. Anyway, I hope all is well. Let me know if you have any questions about the ITF Plus, and I'll share. If it's something I can share, then I will. All right, take care. Bye.